Hello everybody, and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearances of the Week. This is Wednesday, July 20th, 2022. We'll be giving you all the first appearances hitting your comic shops today. Now this week we have a very light video for you guys. I think we only have 5 first appearances, 3 honorable mentions, so only 8 titles on all to go through. Won't take us very long at all, but there's definitely some books in there you want to pick up for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearances of the week ending July 22nd, 2022. First up from DC Comics, Black Adam number 2. This features the first appearance of Malik as White Adam. Now, as you guys all know, the Black Adam film is coming out soon, so there's expect to see a lot more interest on the Black Adam character, especially when this feature film hits theaters. But you know, this is DC. DC hasn't really wowed audiences in the past decade or so with their feature films, which is a big driver for these franchises. So this is the first appearance of this new character into this Black Adam title series, but it really depends on what DC does with this character, with this series, as to how important this character will be going forward. This one here is going to be a little bit more speculative if you choose to pick it up, but it may be worth doing so for the cover price. Go ahead and grab this one here if you can. If you can't, put it in your B-list, but take a look at it later on. Next up from DC Comics, Flash number 784. This features the first full appearance of Night Flash. Now, like we just mentioned a moment ago, it really depends on what DC does with these new characters. If they introduce them into small screen or big screen projects, it definitely gets more eyes on the character. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be important in the future, so it really depends on what DC does with this new character, Night Flash, that they're introducing. They are bringing it into the Flash title series, which is the tentpole series for the Flash franchise. So that is a good sign, but like I said, it really depends on what they do with this character going forward. So this one here is going to be a little bit more speculative if you choose to pick it up, but it may be worth doing so for the cover price. You don't want to pay more for this later on. But like I said, it is speculative. Pick it up if you can. If you can't, put it in your B-list, but take a look at it later on. Next up from Marvel Comics, Avengers number 58. This features the first full appearance of Ghost Ronin, Samurai of Vengeance. Now, in our opinion, it's always worth picking up these first appearances of new characters in Marvel titles, and this is the first appearance of a new character within the Avengers title series. This is one of Marvel Comics' tentpole series, so in our opinion, this one here is worth picking up. You know, Disney, Marvel, these are powerhouses. They're churning out a ton of media, whether it's, you know, TV shows, feature films, or streaming series, and you really don't know if any of these characters are going to appear in those series or those projects, and if they do, it definitely gets a lot more attention, a lot more eyes on the character, and gives it a lot more staying power going into the future. So this one here, in our opinion, is worth picking up. Go ahead and grab this one here for your collection. Next up from Marvel Comics, Iron Man number 21. This features the first appearance of Switchback. Once again, Iron Man, the Iron Man title series, one of the big series for Marvel Comics, and this is the first appearance of a new character within this title series. So this one here, just like the Avengers number 58 that we just mentioned a moment ago. So in our opinion, this one here is worth picking up for the cover price. Go ahead and grab this one. And finally from Marvel Comics, Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings number 1. This features the first appearance of Red Cannon. Now, the Shang-Chi title series is one of Marvel's newer title series, but you know, there is a big collector base, a big fan base for this particular title series because of the feature film. How strong that is or how important that is going forward, we really won't know until the years pass, but this is the first appearance of a new character within this particular title series. Now, this one here is going to be a little bit more speculative than the other Marvel titles we mentioned, but it may be worth picking up for the cover price. Go ahead and grab this one here if you can. If you can't, put it in your B-list, but keep an eye on it. And now for the honorable mentions. From Aftershock Comics, Brother of All Men number 1. In 1928, a veteran of the Great War and part-time private eye travels to remote Canada to retrieve his estranged brother from a cult, but struggles to resist the charismatic leader. Now, we mentioned this before with Aftershock Comics. They've been getting a lot more attention on their titles, and they have been optioned for TV shows, feature films, and streaming series. You know, that is a big, big driver for these indie titles, for these small press titles. And this one here does sound like it lends itself very well to a small screen or big screen project. So in our opinion, this one here may be worth picking up the spec on, but it is a speculative bet because if it doesn't get picked up, doesn't get optioned, it may not be as important going forward. But this one here may be worth picking up the spec on. Go ahead and grab this one here if you can. If you can't, put it in your B-list, but definitely keep an eye on this one. Next up from Image Comics, Rogues Gallery number 1. This is a home invasion thriller that follows a TV superhero actress as she is terrorized by a group of intruders cosplaying her day job's arch villains. Now this one here sounds very interesting, and Image Comics has had a lot of their titles picked up recently for small screen and big screen projects, and this sounds like it can lend itself very, very well to a streaming series or feature film. In our opinion, this one here is definitely worth picking up the spec on. Go ahead and grab this one here if you can. If you can't, put it in your B-list, but definitely keep an eye on this one. Finally, from Dynamite Comics, Mad Balls vs. Garbage Pail Kids number 1. This is a crossover of Madballs and Garbage Pail Kids, two cult classic innovative collectibles from the 1980s. Now, the reason we included this in the list is just because it's an interesting crossover. It's Madballs and Garbage Pail Kids. This is going to be a very nostalgic comic for anyone that grew up in the 1980s. You know, if you're a kid of the 80s, you know both of these franchises very well. How important this will be going forward is yet to be seen. You know, it really depends on what happens with these two franchises. You know, and once again, this is a 1980s nostalgia. They're really trying to capture that group of individuals. You know, that's why you have Stranger Things doing so well. That's why you have some of these other comic books and toy lines and video games doing so well, because they are trying to capture that 1980s nostalgia from the kids that grew up during that period of time. So this one here is definitely going to be speculative if you choose to pick it up. May just be a fun comic to pick up and own in your collection, but as far as an investment going forward, very speculative. So keep that in mind if you choose to pick this one here up. Grab it if you like. Otherwise, put it on your B-list. You probably have some time on this one. So there you have the 8 titles that we have for you guys this week. I told you a very short video, but definitely some books in there you want to pick up. Please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.